What's up everybody, it's your boy Sven and today we're back with another review video. Today we're gonna review a mouse which I've never heard of before, but when I tried it, I was really surprised on how well it performed. Ladies and gentlemen, the Endgame Gear XM1. It's good to be back. And it's always exciting to unbox and try out some new gear. Today's gear was sent over by Rotobox Philippines. And I can't thank them enough for sending me this over and asking me what my opinion on this mouse is. So if you are in the market for a mouse, keyboard, or any other gear, please check out Rotobox Philippines and show them some love. So like I said, I've never heard of this brand and mouse before, so I didn't really know what to expect. But when I looked it up, it actually had really good reviews. So let's see how good this mouse is and if it can live up to the hype. So let's unbox this thing. Alright guys, let's unbox the Endgame Gear XM1. So the box is not really in its best state, so forgive me for that. But I hope that the mouse is still intact. So let's get started. Oh, alright, so you can see here the wire for the XM1. And if you take this off, wow. Wow, this is such a beauty, guys. It looks so neat and pretty. And it's light, it's super light. Just like my glorious Model O. And it really feels solid. So let's see what's in the rest of the box. Actually, there's not much to it. It's just this card. So basically, all you get from the box is the mouse, this card, and the box itself. So there's not much to it actually. So I'm wondering how well this mouse performs. So let's start testing it. Let's talk about the looks of this mouse. When I first opened the XM1, I was blown away on how clean this mouse looks. It has a very minimal design, which I absolutely love, with just the logo on its body. For minimalistic people like me, it's an absolute eye candy. And to be honest, I didn't even want to use it, just because of how beautiful it looked out of the box. Like those shoes you never want to wear, because you don't want them to get dirty. The XM1, however, doesn't have any RGB lights. This means no +20 aim. But you can look into the XM1 RGB if you really need those RGB lights. My only real complaint for this mice is it kind of easily picks up oil and fingerprints. After just using it for one day, I could already see some oil marks from my hands. I'm not sure if it's the same with the black version, but to me it's not really a big deal. Unlike the glorious Model O wireless, which I reviewed last week, this mouse feels rock solid and looks like it could take a beating. However, this doesn't mean you should throw it around and slam it on your table. It only weighs 70 grams, which is already one of the lightest mices on the market without even having holes in it. This means it's 12 grams lighter than the XM1 RGB version, which weighs 82 grams. So you might want to think twice if you want to get that extra RGB for your mice. The mouse has 2 side buttons, 2 top buttons, and a scroll wheel. Pretty standard. The mouse cable is very flexible and is 185 centimeters long. Unlike other gaming mices though, the DPI button is on the bottom of the mouse. Alright, let's do a quick sound test for all the buttons of the XM1. I love the shape of the XM1, and right from the get-go it felt very comfortable in my hand. There was no adjustment period, and it actually reminded me a lot of how my old Logitech G102 felt. This mouse also works very well with whether you have small or big hands, and all the different mouse grips, like the palm grip, the claw grip, and the fingertip grip. The software for the XM1 is fairly simple. However, one thing that was very confusing for me was that there's different download links for different firmwares for XM1. And when I checked the box and mouse itself, there was no indication of what current firmware it was set to. I just went ahead and downloaded this configuration software version 1.08, which is compatible with the firmware version 2, which seemed to be the correct choice. For the software itself, there's only 4 tabs where you can adjust your buttons, sensor settings, and update the firmware for your mouse, and a support button. To be honest, the buttons tab is pretty much useless, as you can't customize your buttons to do other things. The only thing you can really do in this tab is disable the middle click and the 2 side buttons. As for the sensor settings, you can change your 4 stages of DPI. By default, this is yellow means a DPI of 400, blue is 800 DPI, red 1600, and green 3200. You can change the color and stages for this, but you only have the option to add up to 4. I also wish they had a drop down for this, or some sort of bar where you could just click onto the bar and choose the DPI instead of typing it in or manually clicking the arrow keys. There's also a ripple control, which from what I've read, reduces jitters when you've set your mouse at a very high DPI. And we have the lift cutoff, which will avoid unwanted movement from your mouse while you are lifting it up while you are repositioning your mouse. You have the update tab, which shows your current firmware and software version, which now answers my question earlier on what firmware my mouse is on. Lastly, we have the support button, which when you click will send you to a frequently asked questions page. I hope they will improve their software in the future, as it is very limited in what it can do and the interface is lackluster as well. If there's one thing that comes to my mind that this mouse was built for, is its performance. The response time is exceptional, it has a very short lift-off distance, the mouse skates are very smooth and glide around the mousepad like nothing, and it is accurate. Right on my first day using the mouse, I instantly dropped 20 kills on Warzone, and it never felt like I was using a new mouse. I also love how tactile the mouse buttons are, and the minimal force you have to apply to click the mouse buttons. Combine that with the low friction skates, you can keep playing at peak performance without fatiguing your arm. The only issue I had, which only happened twice though, is that it would suddenly disconnect and I could hear Windows notifying me that the mouse had reconnected a USB device, which was the mouse itself. I'm not sure if this is an issue with the mouse itself or my motherboard not being able to power the mouse enough, but overall, I'm loving the performance of the mouse and it's definitely keeping up with the top products of other brands. How much does the XM1 cost? On their website, they advertise that it costs £59.90, which is around 4,000 pesos. However, you can get it from Rotobox for 3,190 pesos. To be honest, this mouse is not too cheap, yet not too expensive. At this price, you could actually already look into other popular brands, mid-range mices. But since this is Endgame Gear's flagship product, which competes with other brands' top models, this is actually a steal for a mice with this performance. Now, what are the pros and cons of this mouse? First off, the build is super solid and it feels like this mouse can easily last for years. The shape is friendly for hands of all sizes and fits all types of grips. It is super light without the need of holes, which comes in handy if you have trypophobia or fear of holes. Next is, of course, its performance, which is really the main selling point of this mouse. And lastly, its price, as it is cheaper than what you would expect from a mouse with this kind of performance. Now, what are the cons for this mouse? There's not a lot of bad things which you can say about this mouse, except that it has no wireless option, which I would really love to see in the future. Next would be, it picks up fingerprints pretty fast. And lastly, the software is pretty much limited in what you can do.
Final verdict. Overall, I love the XM1. You can see it was built with the pure intention to perform at the highest level. Personally, I would recommend this mouse to any gamer who's trying to perform at the highest level, or even just a casual user who just likes a neat mouse that just works. The software is quite a bit underwhelming, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna improve it in the future. The only thing that this mouse is really lacking, and why I'm still sticking with my glorious Model O wireless, is that it has no wireless option. I just love the flexibility of having a wireless mouse, which also reduces arm fatigue, especially while working or playing over long hours, than with a wired mouse, because you would spend more energy dragging around that wire. So although you might not feel it right away, it's very apparent over long hours of playing or working. If, however, Endgame Gear comes up with the XM1, which is wireless, I would seriously consider replacing my mouse, as I really love what I have done with the XM1. Again, I want to say thank you to Rotobox Philippines for sending me this over. If you are interested in this mouse or other products, please check them out, as they are super generous and are super responsive. So guys, do you think that the XM1 will replace your mouse? And is there anything you think I've missed or you want me to expound more on? Please let me know down below in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. So guys, thank you again for watching, and as always, peace! See ya!